Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this episode, I'll show you the true origin of divine chariots. Because divine chariots in ancient world cultures served as a powerful symbol for bridging the mortal and the celestial realms, frequently representing sun gods, war deities, or the absolute power of royalty. And these vehicles often depicted as swift and radiant, and were central to myth where gods descended to intervene in human affairs. And when I do this, when I say sun gods, it has absolutely nothing to do with the physical sun. And sun gods should be reinterpreted to maybe shining gods. But I'll show you in a moment. And let me once and for all demystify Eric von Daniken's Chariot of the Gods and all the other ancient alien theories of an advanced technology from the past. Because the inspiration source for all divine chariots can be found in the Milky Way center. And I'm sorry to hear that Eric von Daniken has passed away, but anyway, thank you for your entertainment, because that was what it was. So rest in peace. Okay, let's go to the Milky Way center here, so I can show you the origin or the inspiration source for creating divine chariots. And they exist basically in most worldwide mythology. So let's start here. The chariot is the golden disk in the Milky Way center. This is also known as the wheel of the chariot. And then you can say that the entire Milky Way here is the back of the chariot, or maybe the inside here, because that's central to most myth around the world. So here we got the chariot. And let me remove this again. And often you see some kind of wheel or something white associated with the chariot. And this is the white area here above the disc. This is often a symbol of pure spirit or unmanifested spirit, which is manifested into the golden disc light. And that will always hang, behind the chariot. And then, of course, we got the horses. And the horses is always represented by the span here of stripes and the striped shadow. So here we got the horses. And this is basically the chariot. And this is used in so many myths. And I'll give you some key examples here. So let's start in Greek mythology. I'll just connect the spans here. We could also give the horses some eyes, just for fun. And connect it here. In Greek mythology, Helios, the sun god, the shining god, and Apollo drives a golden, fire-breathing chariot across the sky. And the golden chariot or fiery chariot is, of course, the the golden disk here in the Milky Way center, the divine light, the shining chariot, or the shining light. In Hinduism, we got Vimanas. In the Vedic deities like Surya is also a shining god, sun god. Ride chariots drawn by 7 horses, while the Mahabharata describes Vimanas, which is some kind of advanced aerial chariot, basically a flying temple, utilized by gods and heroes. And let me show you the Vimana here. Because the striped shadow here is always the golden temple in the sky. And the entrance to the temple is like the entrance here, and the entire Milky Way center can also be the inner chamber, or the entrance to the castle or to the temple. But let's keep it here in the striped shadow, because this is the flying Vimana, the Milky Way center, with the golden light. You know, it flies across the sky, and it's has nothing to do with ancient technology or some kind of machinery. So this is the Vimana from the Vedic literature. Okay, and then Surya is of course an entity based on the disc here and the striped shadow, but I'll make a video getting into this subject later. Then we have Norse mythology, with the Thor, who travels in a chariot pulled by 2 goats named Ten and Ten Gnostr. That means like the 2 goats named after doing something with their teeth. And to start from the backwards, the teeth in the Milky Way center is the striped shadow here. That's the teeth of the goats. And then of course the 2 goats is here. And then we got Thor, the god of thunder, with his red hair in his chariot here. So same story in Norse mythology. And by the way, Thor also got red hair and a red beard, which is the red golden light from the disc, emanating from the disc and running into the striped shadow. So that's the hair and the beard of Thor. This is also his lightning, so to speak, the thunder. Not real thunderstorms, but the divine thunder. Okay, let's move on here, because a very famous entity from the biblical tradition, Ezekiel, describes a vision of a fiery chariot, or the Merkaba, the wheel within a wheel, representing a throne of God and divine presence. And to make a long story short, Ezekiel's vision was the Milky Way center here. And here you got the wheel. And then the shadows here is often used as wheels in a wheel, or spokes of a wheel. So And that's very important when we go into Hinduism and the Vedic textures, because there we also got the wheel, and we also got the concepts like wheel of fortune and stuff like that. What else do we got here? We got ancient Egypt. Chariots were heavily associated with pharaohs. And pharaohs, they was divine. The connection between the mortal and the afterlife, or the divine. And the chariot was used for hunting or battle scenes, symbolizing their protection by gods and ability to maintain a cosmic order. So when we see depictions with chariots in ancient Egypt, it's not necessary the pharaoh going on hunting or into war with, all the with his enemies. It will more be a divine message, because the pharaohs and the Egypt culture was, used this in their everyday understanding of cosmology, which was implemented in everyday life. But again, it's the same chariot we got here. The pharaoh. The pharaoh is an allegory, so to speak, of the golden disc, like the spirit, the golden pharaoh here, and his span here of horses or whatever. So here we see the pharaoh's chariot. And then the most famous here in the Western philosophy, we got the Santa Claus and his cane with the reindeers. And this is the exact same story. And we all know that Santa Claus is bringing gifts, and the golden disc here is, of course, the gift, wisdom and spirit to the people, because that's the best present you can ever have. And everything about Christmas and Santa Claus, and Christmas trees, and is based on the Milky Way Center. You can go watch my Christmas video to learn more. And then we got in Denmark, we got a very famous artifact named the Sun Chariot. And the experts here believe that it's the sun, being carried across the sky every day. But this is not the sun. It's also the disc here on the wagon, in front of the horse here. Yeah, nice horse. But that's the Sun Chariot from Denmark, from the Viking Age. And then we got this is not exactly a chariot, but it's connected to chariot, because that's the chakra. And when many people think that chakras is something you have, inside the body, and then you have to reach the top chakra to get enlightened or get in contact with spirit. But in fact, that's not what the Vedas is talking about. Chakra in Sanskrit means the wheel of carriage. And this is the wheel here. And I can't remember, but I think it's white horses, or but something, is pulling the wheel. And the stripes here is also the spokes associated with the wheel. So, but I'll make another video getting deeper into this New Age chakra system, and explain a little about why Buddhism and Hinduism is has been corrupted or misinterpreted up through history. So look for that in the near future. And let's take one last here, because we also got Disney's Cinderella. And you know, at the end of the movie, she is carried away in a pumpkin chariot. And everything in Disney is based on the Milky Way Center. Every single movie. And here we got the pumpkin, of course. And the span here of horses. It's the striped shadow. So this is again the same story. So this is a pumpkin. So this is Cinderella's chariot. And yeah, there's much more about that story, which I will go deeper into in my Disney series coming up soon. Okay, and yeah, and very important, the concept of golden chariots, which is often used by royal families in Europe, also originate from the Milky Way Center. Basically, everything in the royal closet, all their stuffs, their orbs and the scepter and everything, is concept from ancient cultures who got inspired from the Milky Way Center. And I promise you that every single myth around the world containing chariots is the Milky Way Center. So now you know that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit today. And until next video, take care. See ya. Bye.